In this video, we will be attempting a Pokemon Platinum Hardcore Nuzlocke using only Poison-type Pokemon. The rules are simple. You may only catch the first Poison type of each route. When a Pokemon faints, it dies and may not be used during the rest of the run. I may not use items in battle. And finally, I am allowing the use of rare candies in order to more efficiently play throughout the game and avoid the tedious of grinding. Additionally, in order to use only Poison types throughout the entire run, I have used the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace my starter with a Nidoran male. I think this is a pretty justifiable starter option due to it being a 3-stage evolution just like the normal starters, and it just generally not being too overpowered throughout the entire run. Since there are only 6 other Poison types in the entire game that I have access to, due to Stunky being barred as a version exclusive, I think this is more than fair. Well, without further ado, let's get right into the run. First, we pick up our starter Pokemon, Nidoran. This guy won't be too useful until we get a Moonstone for Nidoking, but we have decently early access to one through the Underground, which we get after reaching Eterna City. Next, we actually get 2 of our 6 total encounters right off the bat, as we catch up Budew and Zubat. Budew is excellent for the first gym due to it being a friendship evolution, allowing us to have access to Roselia pretty quickly. Unfortunately though, it is a Shiny Stone evolution after this, which we don't have access to until before the 6th gym. With our entire team now caught and ready, we can get into the first gym fight, Rourke. The fight starts off with Rourke sending out his Geodude as we lead with Roselia. Because Geodude is a ground rock type, we are quad effective versus it with our Mecha Drain easily picking up a knockout. The same can be said for Rourke's Onix, again being quad effective with our grass moves, making for another easy kill. Finally, he sends in his ace, Cranidos, which again dies to 1 Mega Drain, making for a very easy first win. Our next fight is a tough one versus Galactic Admin, Mars. Her Purugly is definitely a run killer, so hopefully we can get out of this fight deathless. Mars leads off the fight with her Zubat, as I lead off the fight with my own Zubat. Because mine is 3 levels higher than hers, I'm pretty confident that I can beat it, as I take it out in 2, with the Wing Attack being a nice stab move. After this, she does bring up Purugly, which I know will fake out, and I don't really have the best wishes to anyway. So I just stay in to get the inner focus negligence of it, and get off a hefty Wing Attack doing some okay damage. Now though I have to switch because I'm dead to any of her attacks, so I go into my Nidorino, which can take a few while getting off some Rock Smashes, doing not anything that heavy in terms of damage, but it's still pretty strong, getting it into very low HP. Because I'm low now, I have to go into Roselia, which does have pretty good special attack and Mega Drain, which at this point is enough to take out the Purugly, especially after getting the Poison Point ability off after she scratches me, ending the fight in our favor. Because we've defeated Mars, we now have access to Eterna Forest. While this is normally unimportant, this place actually has 2 encounters for us. Unfortunately, only one of them is accessible before Gardenia, being Cascoon, which we immediately evolve into Dustox before the gym battle. While Dustox is actually quite good for Gardenia, it probably won't matter, seeing as we have Golbat now. Now that we get into the Gardenia fight, you'll all see how trivial Golbat really makes this. Because it's a poison flying type, quad resisting grass, and having a good stab flying move and winging attack, this whole fight is really just gonna be a piece of cake. She starts off with Turtwig, which gets completely obliterated by a few wing attacks as it does literally no damage in return, getting an easy free kill there. She then sends in Sharam, which is a decently strong Pokemon this early in the game. However, versus Golbat is really just nothing, as it also dies in 2 wing attacks while doing, again, no damage, actually, again trying with the Grass Knot. Finally, she sends in her ace, Roserade, which is, again, a very strong Pokemon for us early in the game. However, it too can't really do much to me. It tries for a Stun Spore, paralyzing me to slow me down, but all it has to hit me with is Grass Knot, which does next to nothing, allowing me to wing attack it a few more times, winning the fight. After beating Gardenia, there's 2 big things I can do. 1, get the Moonstone to evolve my Nidorino into a Nidoking, and 2, catch Ghastly from the old Chateau. First, I am meant to show the recording of getting the Moonstone, however, I forgot that recording the top screen actually doesn't show the mining, so you guys just have to trust that I found one eventually. As for Ghastly, we can play that now. As you can see, catch the Ghastly. Unfortunately, I can't trade it with anybody, so Haunter is going to be its final stage, which really sucks. However, Haunter's still okay, I guess. I mean, y'all will see it later, so yeah. With our new Gastly and Nidoking acquired, we can finally move on to the Jupiter fight. Jupiter leads off with Zubat as we lead off with Crobat, which is pretty good, as we can just bite it down hoping for a flinch. However, we don't get anything like that. A wing attack finally finishes it off, killing it. She then does Skuntank, which is incredibly oppressive at this early in the game. I go for a Confuse Ray, and she does not get confused, hitting me with a Night Slash. I'm now in range of crit, which is really scary, although there's really not that much I can do about it in my current situation. Eventually, I elect to send in Nevada, my Rosalia, as she gets confused, which is amazing. Now I can go for Leech Seed, which should be very good. Of course I miss, but she did get another confused turn, so it's okay. A crit then takes me down to 2 HP as I barely hang on. However, the Leech Seed does go off, giving me a chance of winning. With Nidoking coming out now and his new high defenses, is able to tank the hits though, so as long as I don't get crit, this looks okay. Horn Attack puts it in berry range and I take another Night Slash. I'm barely out of crit range now because of the Leech Seed, but this is still pretty close. One more Horn Attack comes out, I'll get Smoke Screen. However, if I can not miss, I'm good. And I don't miss, allowing me to kill Skuntank, winning this close fight. Now that we've conquered Jupiter, the next thing sitting in our way is Fantino. However, before we have this gym battle, we do get to evolve our Gastly into Haunter, potentially being useful with the good super effective attacks like Sucker Punch, and just having the good offensive typing and speed to potentially put in work. Luckily for me, I end up actually getting one of the easiest Fantino fights I've ever had. I simply lead off with the Crobat and just click Bite, as you'll see. I get a few flinches here, such as turn 1, get a flinch, letting me kill Duskull in 2 while taking no damage. Then comes out Miss Magius, which is terrifying, by the way. However, getting another flinch is easy. I get to get another hit off flinching again. It's actually crazy. At this point, I just need to keep clicking Bite, and I do knock it out. And I mean, yeah, she sends out Haunter as her last Pokemon, but it can't really do anything anymore, as I just Bite, take a Shadow Claw, no problem, Bite again, and that's a wrap. So yeah, pretty nice fight for me, and hopefully get more luck like that in the future. Now we can fight Barry before we go into the next area. He leads off with Staravia as we lead off with Crobat, which takes Intimidate, which is annoying, but it's alright. 2 wing attacks bring him very low as he continues double teaming, however I break through the evasion, luckily, and kill it. That could have been bad. He then says in Buizel, as I'm not really sure what I want to do, but I end up going to Nevada because I'm assuming he'll just go for a water move, which he does. Nevada's great here, I have Giga Drain now, so it's an easy 1 KO, which is just fantastic for me. However, now comes in Monferno, which is really scary because it just does a ton of damage to my entire team with Flame Wheel. I opt for Nidoking as he goes for it, and it does pretty okay damage. I took it decently though. However, my only good move for it is Peck, which is obviously really weak. However, 2 Pecks do make it quite low, despite me living a potential crit that would have killed me, so that's pretty scary, but luckily I did live. I can now bring in Texas on the Mach Punch, which is fantastic, as I know I'll speed and kill him with Wing Attack. So at this point, the fight's looking pretty good. All there's now left is Rosalia, which obviously I can kill in 1 with Texas, winning the fight. With Barry defeated, we now fight Meline, who leads off with Metatite in her gym. This is a pretty weak Pokemon though, so I just Wing Attack it once for a kill, which is good. Macho comes out now, taking a Wing Attack and then going for Rock Tomb, which does some damage to me and lowers my speed stat. However, it's not too big of a deal as it falls to 1 more Wing Attack. With Machoke gone, she sends in her ace and final Pokemon, Lucario. Lucario is really scary as there's just not much I can do against it. So after thinking for a while, I end up deciding to stay in, going for 1 Wing Attack as I know I can live a crit. I end up taking 1 hit, barely holding on with 34 HP, and getting off some okay chip damage with Wing Attack, which is nice to see. I now have to switch though, so I end up going into my Nidoking, which takes some damage, but it is quite a lot overall, so it's kind of concerning for me. I ended up taking this opportunity to make a switch again as I double into my Haunter, dodging a Metal Claw and getting off a Confuse Ray. This then follows up with the Lucario hitting itself, which is fantastic as I Nightshade alongside that self hit. This is really good now as Lucario is very low on HP, however it does Metal Claw me after not hitting itself, doing enough to one-shot me with crit, which is just insane. As I Nightshade 1 more time for the knockout, winning the fight against Meline, getting to the halfway point of the game. Now that we've beaten Meline, we have a choice. we can go to the Great Marsh and either catch Skorupi, which becomes Drapion, a dark poison type, or we can get Toxicroak, a poison fighting type. Overall, I decided Skorupi is better because Drapion's dark typing gives us a psychic immunity instead of having our entire team being weak to it, which may prove very important for Lucian at the end of the game. Now that we have Skorupi, we have a full party of 6 and can fight the rival. However, Skorupi won't be too useful here, it's a pretty bad Pokemon until it evolves. Anyways, the rival leads off as Saravia, which is kind of scary because it's intimidating and stuff, but it's not too big of a deal. We first dodge with Fly and then come down Saravia, doing a lot of damage, but now double teams, which is kind of concerning. Wing attack then misses as we get endeavored for a ton of damage, which is really, really bad, but it's okay, as we get our second Fly knocking out Saravia. However, Crowbat's basically done for this fight. He then has in Buizel, which is fine, as we obviously have Roselia. However, he pursuits, which is crazy. We barely hold on. But now we bring on Roselia after we live Pursuit, and we knock out the Buizel with a nice Giga Drain. He does his in Monferno, which is obviously going to be able to kill us with a Flame Wheel, so we need to be a bit careful here. I don't have the best switches, but we can just go into Nidoking, as we take a ton of damage from a critical hit. This fight is just not going our way, unfortunately, but there's not much we can do about that. We then hit it with a Peck, doing around half his health, and get burned by Flame Wheel. Like, the luck is just not on our side here. Very, very unlucky, but what are you going to do? At this point, we have to switch into a Flame Wheel, which is so tough, because, you see my Pokemon. I sent in Haunter, because it's really the only thing I have, as we take a surprisingly low amount of damage, and hit it with a Shadow Ball for a kill. This is actually not too bad, as he sends in his own Roselia now, which is his last Pokemon. Shadow Ball is going to do a ton of damage with a crit, getting a one-shot kill, and that is the end of the fight, taking out Barry. After clearing out Barry, we now move on to the 5th gym of the game, being Crasher Wake and his water types. At first, this may not seem too difficult to you guys, however, when you really think about it, I have basically no checks to Gyarados, besides kind of Roselia, which still takes a ton of damage from it, as well as the Floatzel with Ice Fang and just generally good attack stat is really concerning for me. This is going to be a pretty tough fight, so we'll see how it goes. Honestly, I'm not sure if Deathless is even possible, but maybe it is. We'll try to figure something out. Now that we've talked about this fight a bit, let's get right into it. Wake leads off as Gyarados, which I don't have that much for, so I do try Roselia at first. Bite does a lot, but I got Poison Point and Leech Seed, so now I'm actually doing a lot of damage to him and getting health back, which is just pretty good overall, probably the perfect start I could get. I then dodge a Flinch after that from Bite and get off a Toxic Spike, which is going to be amazing for Floatzel. I then get bit again, I have to dodge Crater, I just don't have any switch-ins, and the Giga Drain is going to knock him out with the poison and everything, killing Gyarados and getting a T-Spike up. This is a really good start for me, so it's just good overall. I have to fear Ice Fang now from Floatzel, which is really bad. I have basically no switch-ins for this either. I end up deciding that my best option will be Dustox, as I have okay defenses. As you can see, I don't take too much damage, and I can live anything he hits unless he crits me. So I go for Protect here to get some more damage off with the poison from Toxic Spikes. He then crunches me as I'm Moonlight. My play here is basically to try to stall him out for some Toxic Poison turns. And the hope of this is basically he'll take a lot of chip damage and I can kill him with Dustox. However, a Crunch crit me completely destroys me even from that healthy of life. So I'm pretty concerned now because all of a sudden my smart plan to beat the Floatzel is completely thrown off. I decided to go to Crobat now because if I click Fly, I get the Toxic Poison turn, which gives me a bit more damage to get off on him. However, he lives the Fly and freezes me with Ice Fang, which is terrible. However, he does die to poison. Now comes out Quag, and unfortunately my Roselia has taken a lot of damage here, so I don't really have a free switch to it at all. So after a bit of debate about what I should do, I finally decide to make the attempted play of going into my Haunter, as it is able to take anything it goes for, including the Rock Tomb, relatively well. Shadow Ball does a lot, however, the Yawn it's a bit annoying, and he Hyper Potions up, recovering all that health, and I'm asleep now. So that's kind of annoying, obviously. However, after I think about it a bit, he's going for rock moves versus me, so I can go into Nidoking here, then bait the ground move, and then by baiting the ground move, I can go back into my Levitating Haunter. And so by doing this, I can infinitely switch between these two over and over again until the Quagsire actually faints to poison, which will take it out and win me the fight. Now that we've beaten Wake and lost Dustox, I'm feeling kind of sad, and of course I have to go through the fucking fog areas, which is just, I hate them. They're the worst parts of the game, I hate them. you can't even see where you're going. And on top of that, when you get into fights, all of your moves' accuracies drop. It's just, like, I don't know why they added this. It's so terrible, and I hate it. But on the bright side of things, we do get a very good evolution, being the evolution of Drapion, which is super good for the rest of the game. Moving on, though, we have a Cyrus Fight, where he leads Sneasel as I lead Crobat. I didn't even know the fight is happening, so I don't down full HP, which is awful. However, we do get off the fly immediately, taking an Ice Punch, which does a lot more than I thought it would. I really underestimated this Pokemon. And I'm pretty scared now of like an Ice Shard or whatever. However, I end up, after a lot of thinking, I mean, it's a tough call I was about to do here, to be fair. But I ended up deciding to switch out into my Drapion, taking very little damage and Bug Biting the Sneasel for the kill. After this, Murkrow comes in, which I'm pretty sure has a Citrus Berry. However, I just Poison Fang here because I think it's my best damaging move in case I get the poison. I don't though. Out comes Drill Peck, high crit rate, but I actually have Battle Armor, so I can't be crit. So that's the most the move can do, which isn't too much. I can take it relatively well. Now I can Bug Bite and eat the Citrus Berry he has, which is amazing as it gives me free healing. And it lets me get another attack off as he uses a potion. I didn't think he actually would use the potion, so that's annoying, but whatever. Two more Poison Fangs take out that Pokemon, and now he sends in Golbat, which I don't have the best answers for anymore, considering how much damage I've taken on Drapion. So I just go into my Nidoking and hope I can do a 1v1 here. Horn Attack doesn't do too much, and he Supersonics me, which is terrible. However, I do break through immediately as he Air Cutters me, doing a lot of damage. I'm now dead to Air Cutter crit plus Suffit though, so I have to go into a new Pokemon, being my Haunter. Haunter takes an Air Cutter and gets up a Shadow Ball, easily killing the Golbat, defeating Cyrus. Now that we have access to Surf, we also have access to catching Tentacool, the final Pokemon of the run. This will be great for the entire thing. It's just a great Pokemon, and it's really good for Byron's Steel types since he has a lot of Ground types too. It's just going to be very influential for the rest of the run, and I'm glad to have him with us. With Tentacruel under our belt, we now go to Canalave City where we have a rival fight. Our rival leads off a Staraptor, which catches a Surf from us and gets up a double team. As long as we hit, we're fine, and we do, taking out Staraptor pretty easily. Next comes out Heracross, which does a lot of damage to me with Night Slash, and I'm kind of concerned about how to deal with this. Because Crobat obviously kills it, but we know why Crobat takes so much damage. So we go into our Jersey, the Drapion first, to take the Night Slash, and then pivot again into Crobat on a Brick Break, taking minimal damage on Crobat, and allowing it to collect a Wing Attack on it for an easy kill, being a quad effective attack, obviously. After getting this XP, we then fight Infernape here. Infernape is still pretty scary, however, I'm just going to assume I'm faster and kill it. So I'm just going to click Fly here as I fly down and hit it with the move. And it does just get a kill, which is a pretty effective way of dealing with it, which is good. I'm just going to fly versus this thing too, as it goes for some weird attacks that don't really make sense, to be honest. Eventually it Aqua Deaths me, which is annoying, but Wing Attack is enough to kill. And this is going to further the fight. Next up is Roserade, which again, Crobat can just make easy work out of. Funny enough, he collects Poison Spikes versus our team of Mono Poison, so, you know, kind of silly there. We do actually get a level off this kill as well, giving us Poison Fang, which is a good move, and that concludes the berry fight, not too hard. After the rival fight, we end up having to fight Byron, who's on Iron Island, needing us to summon him. To do this, we simply go there with a fairy and do some fights with this guy, the Lucario. I don't know, he's not that strong, but it's okay. After doing these fights though, a very important thing happens, being get the Shiny Stone finally, and this actually gives us access to Roserade, so this is great. Finally got Roserade, and this basically means we have a maxed out team now. It's the best team we can ever have in the entire game, so hopefully we can keep it alive. Now that we've got Roserade, we can get right into the Byron fight. We're actually going to lead off with Roserade since I don't have the best Magneton checks. So I'm just going to get off a Leech Seed immediately, and I have good Spidef, so Flash Can doesn't do that much. Like, it's handleable, especially with the Leech Seed recovery. Giga Drain is resisted, but it's still a strong move, and all the recovery is nice. However, after getting Magnet sounds on me, I'm kind of scared of the special attack drops, so I'm going to go hard into my Tentacruel, which has Clear Body, which makes it immune to that attack as well. Surf now comes out and finishes off the Magneton in one hit, which is really good, because that was actually kind of a big threat. Now comes out Steelix, and I'm just kind of thinking, like, can I kill you with Surf? Because if I can't kill it, I'm dead, but I do kill it with Surf, luckily, so let's go Tentacruel, good job. Now, Bastiodon, here's the thing. Surf would bring it down very low, bring it down to Sturdy, in fact. However, if this thing lives Surf and collects Metal Sound, then I just lose my Pokemon, because what Metal Sound does is it deals double the damage that it received from the attack, right? So instead, I'm going to go into my Roserade and click Leech Seed to whittle it down over time. Because Bastiodon's attack stats are very low, it can't actually do that much damage to me no matter what it uses. But I know that I can do basically, like, I can do a lot of damage to it basically, so I'm just trying to play it slow. Taunt is actually kind of annoying because this would force Giga Drain. In fact, Giga Drain probably killed here, but I'm just, like, there's no point in risking it, right? So I'm just going to not even take any chances there. I could really just switch around between my guys at this point. His only attacking move, by the way, is Stone Edge, which does, like, nothing. So, yeah. As you guys can see, I know I'm just clicking Return, because even though it does no damage at all, that's the point, right? Because he does no damage back with Metal Burst, so I'm like, you know, this is fine. I'm content with this. Eventually, though, I'm kind of bored, right? I think I clicked it, like, one more time. Yeah, I think this is the last time I clicked Return here. As then he taunts me, I'm just like, alright, listen, dude, like, we're done with this. And he clicks a full restore as I go for Surf. But this actually does over half, so now I'm just like, okay, I was being kind of, like, scary for no reason. So I'm just going to Surf him again, kill him, and win the fight. After defeating Byron, we have some more galactic story stuff to go through. However, all these fights are fairly easy, so I'm probably just going to go over them pretty quick. The Saturn fight here is in, like, a cave. I think he's trying to fight maybe Yoxi. I don't even know, to be honest. Anyways, the Golbat goes down super easily, no trouble there. Next comes out Toxicroak, which is scary, you would think, except I have a Crobat, so not really. I'm just gonna click Fly here. He even went for Revenge. That would have been like literally 1 damage to me. He somehow lives Fly, which is complex. I can't believe that, but it doesn't really matter because Wing Attack is gonna be enough to do the rest of his health. All he's is a Bronzor, actually his scariest Pokemon considering his Psychic typing. However, I do have a Drapion, so unfortunately for you guys, he just spammed Iron Defense forever, like literally forever. Eventually though, I do knock him out and end the fight. It took so long. Oh my god. Now that we've beaten Saturn, we can go back home to Lake Verity and fight Mars. She doesn't really have much stronger of a team than Saturn. However, I do think that the Purugly is a bit more dangerous than to me. It's a bit more dangerous to me than the Toxicroak, just because I had Crobat for that guy. Anyways, she's going to send in Bronzor now after her Golbat goes down. However, I'm really just free to keep clicking Surfs here. I do break through the confusion as well, so Tentacruel is just completely dominating this fight here. Anyways, now comes in the Purugly, which, to be honest, is actually pretty scary. I mean, Stab 70 Power Slash with the high crit rate can do a lot. I first go into Haunter knowing that she'll Fake Out though, and then pivot into my Drapion on a Dark move being Fan Attack. I can now just kind of 1v1 this thing for a bit. I go for Poison Fang and get the Toxic Poison, which is just fantastic. I now Bug Bite the Berry as well. Unfortunately here, I forgot that I have Battle Armor, so I made an unnecessary switch. However, it doesn't matter because Mars can use potions. So when I go into my Haunter on the normal move and go for Sucker Punch, she either dies or just dies to Poison, which is what happens here. And that's Mars down. Next up on our hit list is Candace, the Ice-type Gym Leader. I genuinely think this was the hardest fight of the entire run, and you'll see what I mean by that right now. So I lead off with a Barrier twice as she spams Advanced Attack first me, as this allows me to take very little damage. I actually get +6 here, so now I'm taking very little. In fact, I'm taking literally like 12 damage per Fan Attack. This allows me to get up 2 Toxic Spikes and get off a Surf versus her as long as I don't get crit. Which this strat is very risky, but I honestly feel like I had to do it. Just because, like, this fight is so rough, to be honest with you guys. For some reason, she switches into Frostlass here. I have no idea why. But it's okay, because now the Frost is Toxic Poison, which is good. You have to be aware that in this fight, though, there are full restores inside Candace's bag. Which means that if I get her into a range of where she's going to want to heal up her Pokemon, that's also going to heal away the Toxic Poison, which will basically undo everything I've worked for already in this fight. Anyways, I'm going to send in Haunter, hoping I can live a Blizzard or dodge it, which I do live, which is nice. Unfortunately, though, I don't really have a switch in at this point, so I kind of have to sack Haunter here. I don't think I'm faster, though, so in this time, I'm debating do I Sucker or not. I choose to Sucker. It has some damage, but that being how Haunter dies is just so sad. I wish there was any other thing I could do, but I genuinely believe any other play just would have resulted in the loss of this fight. Anyways, I now send in Crobat here to Fly, because this will give me a ton of Toxic Ship, and it should kill, which it does. So there goes her Ace to the Frostlass. good to get it out of the way. So a lot of threats left. Next is Sneasel, which I'm thinking, I mean, it might have like Ice Shard or something like that, but really, I'm faster whenever. I end up going into my Nidoking on the Ice Shard though, deciding that he does have it. Because the thing is, I can't let Crobat get shipped here, so I'm better off risking 2 Ice Shards on this and no crits, which I do luckily get, allowing me to kill it with the Rock Smash. Next is in Piloswine, which I'm really hoping it goes for Quake here as I go into Nevada. Unfortunately, Avalanche has done instead. However, I actually hold on anyways. And now I'm praying, please can I kill Giga Drain? I need this to kill. And it does. So I get basically all my health back, but more importantly, I knock out the Piloswine. Her last Pokemon is going to be Abomasnow, which is really scary. I don't know if Sludge Bomb will kill, and if I lose Roserade, the run is just over, to be honest. So I end up deciding to go into my Drapion instead. Avalanche does like no damage to me though, which is super cool. So now I kind of start throwing off attacks because there's not really much she can do to me for this turn at least, right? So I'm thinking, you know, I got Poison Fang, I got Bug Bite, I got Strength, I got Rock Climb. Yeah, Rock Climb. And I decided to go for Poison Fang here. It does good damage as I take a Focus Blast. I do live, which is good, but I don't know if it's in range of my next hit. It's super close though. So I'm just like, fuck, I mean, like, what do I do here? I could go Crobat. If I go Crobat on the Focus Blast, that's amazing. But if I go Crobat on like a Blizzard or something and it dies, the run's over. Like, I can't lose another Pokemon here. I only have 5 left for the entire run, you know? I cannot go down to 4. Especially because all the 4 I have, sorry, yeah, the 5 I have left right now are just so important. I can't lose any of them. I decided to risk Crobat as he goes for Woodhammer, which I live, obviously. I'm just like, oh my god, thank everything. I had no Shoal Forward Store here, so I go for Wing Attack instead of Fly, knowing full well that if I fly here, I could just lose the run. As I Wing Attack again after the healing item, knocking out the Abomasnow, and taking out Candace. This fight was really scary, and I honestly think I'm lucky to have gotten it through with even just 1 death. This run's going to be tough with only 5 Pokemon now, but I think we can do it if we get lucky and keep playing well. Unfortunately, my footage of the next Cyrus fight corrupted, so I'm sorry about that. However, it was a pretty simple fight anyway, no losses, not a big deal. Anyways, next up is the most exciting part of the game, Spear Pillar. The first boss fight of Spear Pillar is versus both of the admins, being Mars and Jupiter. However, we do get to 2v2 it, as we get to be with our friend Barry for the fight. Except his team is terrible. I mean, look, he literally led off with a Munchlax. A Munchlax, this is like the end of the game. I mean, come on, man, come on. Anyways, they both lead off with Psychic types, which is actually really scary. Like, I know they're just Bronzers, but still, I mean, I'm at least a bit concerned about that, but it's fine. We just keep surfing them, eventually we knock them both out. Almost kill Barry's own in front of him in the process, but it's whatever, you know, I don't really mind, it's fine. But then they bring in Skuntank and Perugly, which is really scary, and they outsped his Infernape and killed it, so that is not what we wanted to see. However, when Staraptor comes in, it intimidates both of them down, which is fantastic, and we're gonna have to get out of here though because our Tentacruel's life is just too low at this point. Anyways, a Hypnosis comes up onto the Staraptor and a Flamethrower. Takes hits pretty well though, so it's fine, and now we have Drapion in, who, as you guys remember, cannot be crit. We're gonna Bug Bite the Skuntank first, eating a Citrus Berry, as Barry can't even kill it properly with Takedown. I mean, come on, man. Just do one useful thing this fight, please. It's fine, though, I guess. We're still in a fine position here with Drapion, as we can just Bug Bite again. We miss out on the kill, though, which sucks, but the Takedown kills the other Pokemon, so it's fine. And the Smokescreen is going to be just completely irrelevant. I don't really mind that much. Quick Attack from Staraptor kills the Skuntank, which is good, and we, unfortunately, then get retarded into a Bug Bite there, but it's fine. All they have left now is this pair of Golbats, which, I mean, Golbat's a good Pokemon, but like we still have a bunch of stuff in the back. A Takedown from Staraptor takes down most of one of the Golbat's health, as the other one just wastes his turn with Mean Look, which is nice. So now I have Crobat in, and we actually kill one of the Golbats with Wing Attack, and the Takedown hits the other one for most of its health. Now our position is actually pretty good now. We have Floatzel and Crobat in just versus the one Golbat. We actually knock it out with one Wing Attack and win this fight. Well, now that that's over with, it's just Cyrus. Oh, wait, what is happening? This is like some weird cult stuff. I don't know. Cyrus trying to do some strange stuff here. Opens up some portals, and then all of a sudden, we get, drumroll please, we get Dialga and Palkia. Oh, what a surprise. Anyways, Cyrus thinks he can control them. I guess he kind of does. We get some more story. Holy shit, more story. And all of a sudden, yeah, we're in the reverse world now, so let's go. Well, now that we're in the reverse world, we might as well make the most of it, right? Well, time for the Cyrus fight. Cyrus, you're going down. We're ending your craziness right here and now, hopefully, so we'll see how the fight goes. Anyways, we get a good lead here, Tentacruel versus Houndoom, as we click Surf immediately, bringing it to literally 1 HP, like 1 HP. That's so annoying. Luckily, he wastes a Photo Sword though, so it's not the worst thing to ever happen, as a few more Surfs do finish off the Houndoom, so kind of a bullshit start, but not the worst, I guess. Here comes Honchkrow now. This thing is impossible to switch into, and like no matter what you have, Honchkrow just has no switch-ins. I'm gonna stand here and pray for no crit as we Surf here and take a Drill Peck and live at 1 HP. Very big clutch by the Tentacruel. I'm so happy you managed to do that. Anyways, Honchkrow is now pretty low, so I can bring in Crobat and hope for no crit, and we don't get a crit. So, nice. We're gonna Fly now. I see like Psychic. Very cool moveset by Cyrus there. As Fly does manage to get the kill, which I was honestly a bit unsure of, so glad that that worked out. Anyways, in comes Weavile, which pretty scary in Monocraft, anything like Icicle Crash, Icicle Spear, whatever, I don't know, anything like that. We're gonna bring in Drapion on an Ice Punch. Take a lot of our health, however, you guys know we have Battle Armor, so it cannot kill us. And the Bug Bite crit and the Bite, just fantastic turn for us overall. Next up comes in Gyarados, which is debatably the best Pokemon in his entire team, besides maybe Honchkrow. This Gyarados is terrifying, I just don't really have much for it. So we're just going to have to hope we can 1v1 with the Roserade. And I'm saying that, but look how much damage that Earthquake just did. It did practically my entire health bar. But then we got a lucky Ice Fang miss, so all of a sudden we're back in the game. One more Giga Drain brings it down to just below half, as another Quake comes out, doing so much damage to us, we can't stand anymore. But I don't really know what we do instead. It's kind of a tough positioning here, it's not really a correct answer per se. I'm going to bring in the Crobat though, because we are going to take the Earthquake obviously. Ice Fang, I'm thinking we probably live, as we actually kill with Fly, which I did not expect, so that was really good. Anyways, all Cyrus has now is a Crobat, which I'm hoping we can 1v1 with ours, as I just fly up. He goes for Air Slash, obviously we dodge it. Fly comes down to being just over half, as we live Air Slash, which means, as you can expect, one more Fly comes down, knocking out his Crobat, and winning us this very tough Cyrus fight. So, very glad that can happen, and yeah. The reverse world's basically done now, but there is one more thing we can do, so you'll see that in a second. Oh my god, it's Giratina, look, oh my god, Giratina, whoa, that's a legendary Pokemon, holy shit, it's Giratina, what the fuck, oh my god, I'm so screwed, it's so strong and powerful, oh my god, what will we do, what will happen right now? What? You're gonna catch it, Jacob, you're gonna catch the legendary Pokemon in the game probably, that's what's gonna happen, right? You're gonna catch it? Oh. Yeah, sorry guys, that's not a poison type Pokemon, so goodbye. Well, now that we've run from the Demon Lord and let him loose all over the world, we can fight Volkner, ending off our gym challenge. This fight's probably not going to be too hard though since we have Nidoking, but we'll see how it goes. Anyways, he goes off with Jolteon as I just click Earth Power and kill it, so, you know, solid start. In comes Electivire now, which I'm assuming I can do the same thing to, as I actually outspeed it, surprisingly, and kill it again with another Earth Power. So, you know, I'm pretty happy with this fight so far, but we're just going to keep it up. In comes a Luxray, which I outspeed again, and Earth Power again to kill it again. There's only one Pokemon left now, being a Raichu, and I'm just like, I mean, does this have Surf or something? Because that's the only conceivable way that this Pokemon could ever kill me. But whatever, at this point I'm just done with this. I'm just going to click Earth Power here and end the fight. That's the easiest gym fight of the entire game, and that's the gym challenge done. Now that the gym badges are all done, there's one final test before the Elite Four, being the final rival fight. Our rival Adrian leads off his Staraptor, as per usual, going for that Intimidate onto my Pokemon. However, because of the new level caps, my levels are so much higher than his, making this fight pretty easy for me. In fact, even at -1, 2 flies from Crobat are more than enough to knock out his Staraptor, getting it right out of the way. Next up is Floatzel, which has Ice Fang, which is scary to deal with for my Crobat. So I'm kind of thinking here, just like, you know, do I want to stay in, take the Ice Fang, do I want to switch out? And I'm going into Nevada on it, because even though it'll hurt a lot, I know I'll live, even crit. outspeed it and get all my health back with Giga Drain anyway. That crit on Giga Drain did not matter at all, by the way. Like, that did more than enough. Also, there's Basin Infernape, which is scary. However, I have pretty free resistance to it with my Tentacruel as it resists both his stabs. However, he gets a fucking crit burn, of course. So I'm just like, wow, okay, dude, nice. Anyways, I still outspeed it though because of my level advantage, and Surf is easily enough to kill. And out comes now his best Pokemon versus me, which is a Snorlax with Earthquake. Obviously, I don't really have much for this. I'm going to try going to Nidoking first. I take under half. I need to dodge crit here, like really, really badly. So I do dodge crit, luckily. So we survive. That was a terrifying turn though. I decided to go into Jersey now, hoping I can live 2. As you can see, that did just under half because it did less than the amount I have left. And because of my battle armor, I know as a fact that I will always live on more with 5 HP, as you can see. And then my Crunch will hit it now, killing the Snorlax, bring it out of the fight, which is really good. There's a reason I need to go into my Crobat in between, by the way, so I need the health on it to deal with Heracross. As you can see, I'm using it to fight this thing here. I outspeed it easily, Wing Attack easily kills. Now Heracross is done. And he goes into his final Pokemon, Roserade, which I can also easily defeat with my Crobat as I go up and down, knocking out the Roserade with 1 fly and getting ready for the Elite Four. We're just going to get right into Elite Four because that's what I want to do. By the way, we did some move alterations with like move tours and stuff for this to make our team ready for the fight, so just be aware of that. Anyways, one of those alterations was giving Nidoking Flamethrower, which we use in this fight a lot, as you'll see. It actually one-shots the Mega, which is fantastic. Earth Power is going to be way more than enough to kill this poor Drapion that Aaron has. Scizor, well, you already know the fate this thing's going to suffer. A Flamethrower is way more than it can handle for itself. Next up after this comes in Heracross, which I'm like, I mean, maybe it'll live a Flamethrower. I mean, we'll see what happens, right? Nope, it dies because it is 11 levels below me. Vespiquen should live though, because this thing's bulk is actually really high. Yeah, it takes nothing, as you can see. However, it tries to beat me with attack order for some reason. That does no damage, obviously. So that's Aaron taken out. And on to the next Elite Four member. Next up among the Elite Four is Bertha and her ground types, which, as you know, is super effective versus poison. However, as you may also know, grass is good versus ground, and so is water, and we have a Roserade and a Tentacruel, so not actually too scared here. Roserade starts off by Giga Draining the Wish Cast for an easy one-shot, and now we fight Gliscor, which is the only Pokemon I'm really scared of. However, like, it's not too scary, you know? So we're gonna Giga Drain there, and then actually dodge crit there, which I didn't think that would be that much damage, so that's my bad, honestly. It's poor play by me, but what are you gonna do? Anyways, we killed the Gliscor, then we one-shot the Golem because it's quad weak to Giga Drain. And hey, what a coincidence, Rhyperior is also quad weak to Giga Drain, so we're just gonna click that again because why the hell not? And now she has her Hippowdon, which, I mean, look, a bit little too late. It doesn't really matter, this thing just dies too, so yeah, that's Bertha taken out pretty easily. Now that we've executed Bertha, we can move on to the Flint fight, otherwise known as the I don't like Tentacruel fight, as Tentacruel is about to completely ruin this man's career. First, Tentacruel gets revenge for the other fight with the Houndoom by one-shotting it here, and then it one-shots its Infernape too, making for an amazing start to the fight. Magmortar, I honestly assume would just die in 1-2, however, it actually lives and gets its berry off, and it plays a Thunderbolt versus you, so I'm like, oh wow, okay. But then Thunderbolt does nothing, so it doesn't really matter, does it? Magmortar drops to another Surf, and then he sends out his Flareon, which I'm sure will die, but it also lives. I'm just like, what the hell is happening? Anyways, he goes for Willow. I mean, like, even if that hits, do you really think you're going to win this fight, man? No, you're definitely not. So I do kill him after the heal. Then he sends in Rapidash, which, I mean, this thing has no bulk at all. It's definitely just dead. Just like Flint. And that's the fight. Finally, we get to the last Elite Four member, Lucian, the Psychic Trainer, otherwise known as the entire reason I picked a Drapion in the first place. Because honestly, I don't really think I had a way to counter these Psychic-type Pokemon without Drapion in this entire run, so hopefully it better pull us away here and do what I wanted to do in the fight. Anyways, he leads off with Mr. Mime, which falls to 1 Crunch, no surprise there, but then brings in Bronzong. In this generation, Steel actually resists Dark, so Crunch is not a super effective move here. However, my suspicions to this aren't really great anyways, so I kind of have to stay and just see what I can do. Anyways, I get a crit crunch, leaving on barely any health. But then luckily for me, he actually goes for Calm Mind instead of an attacking move, which is just amazing. A Fire Fang brings him to very low HP as another crunch finishes him off, taking out one of his scarier Pokemon. Next is Alakazam, which I somehow outspeed. I was so surprised by this, and it just easily dies. Then I outspeed the Espeon too, which is equally insane to me, but whatever. I mean, I'm happy to have that happen. Gallade is so scary though, as it will live a crunch, and I'm scared of what it has to do to me. Probably close combat, I would assume, but we'll see what happens. As he actually goes for Stone Edge, which, I mean, he can't crit me against a Battle Armor, so that's fine, and that's also the end of the fight. GG, Lucian. Finally, the moment we've all been waiting for. Cynthia. Can I win the end of this Nuzlocke? Well, we'll see in a second. Anyways, to begin, I lead with my Roserade versus Spiritomb, just thinking I can probably Giga Drain around with this Pokemon and just do reasonable damage. The problem here is that Spiritomb actually knows Psychic, which is really bad for all my Pokemon. But if I try to use Drapion, I just wouldn't do enough damage, so it's not really going to work either. Anyways, she has a Spin Death Trap on me, which is terrible. Like, that's so bad. Because now my +1 Giga Drain from my Growth Boost, like, it's nice, but all this health is going to be gone now because of and it drops me again. It's just so unlucky, but whatever. I win the 1v1 with this Pokemon and kill the Spiritomb. Something important to remember about these champion fights, by the way, guys, is in a Nuzlocke, this is when you can start stacking off Pokemon, because now you're just trying to win this last fight. They don't matter after this. This is all they're here for, right? So I'm looking at this Togekiss, just thinking, like, do I have a switch into this that makes sense? That allows me to keep Roserade. Roserade is so good because she has a Milotic in the back, and I don't have that much for it outside of maybe defensively 1v1ing it with Tentacruel, which is okay. Although I'd rather have the Roserade for it, right? Because I can just Giga Drain it, get my health back, and potentially get Roserade back in the game. So after thinking about this for a long time, I eventually opt to just stay in and stack a Roserade here because I can get off good ship anyway for my +1, and it's just not good switching I have here. The Sludge actually does so much damage though, so that's awesome. Unfortunately, it's in potion range though, which, look, that's a bit annoying, but I'm so glad to have a lot of damage on it, you know? Anyways, I bring in Nidoking though, because one of my move tutored moves on it is going to be Ice Beam, which does so much damage to Togekiss here. It's actually a 2-hit KO, which means I have a free kill on it thanks to my stack of Roserades. So, good job, Nevada. You've done so great this run. Good play there, getting all the damage off, and I'm happy to have had you. Anyways, and it comes into my Milotic, which, as you guys heard me talking about earlier, without Nevada is a lot trickier to deal with. I ended up, I think, deciding to go with Tentacruel though, because outside Tentacruel, there's just not really much I have to fight this thing with. Additionally, it has Mirror Coat, which is just terrifying. You can like get a surprise kill on me out of nowhere if I use a special attacker to beat it. So, you know, it's just, there's not really going to be a fantastic way to beat this thing, right? However, because it's not too strong, I can get on my T-Spikes here, which I'm thinking is going to be good because the thing about Cynthia, she has a Garchomp with Earthquake, and I'm doing Mono Poison, so like, that's kind of scary, you know? I'm pretty concerned about that. So I'm just going to start jabbing this thing, I'm trying to kill it. I actually get a Poison there, which lets me kill it this turn instead of having to do it with a Potion, which is really nice, honestly, very convenient. And I'm hoping she was in Shop now for the Poison off, and she does. So this turn, I'm just planning on sacking my guy, but if I am faster, something good will happen. And I'm faster! And Ice Beam gets off, so I'm just like, oh my god. But it doesn't actually kill Garchomp, surprisingly, so it's fine. Tentacruel, you were such a good Pokemon this run. I'm so happy for what you did in this fight, especially in the champion, dude. Big Ice Beam on the Garchomp, big play, good job. Anyways, here I'm just thinking like, okay, revenge killing this thing, the only faster Pokemon I think I have would probably be the Crobat. However, if I click Fly here, he's going to get off the recovery of a potion because I won't be able to kill. So instead, I have to wing attack here and sack all that health just to guarantee it dies this turn, because there's really not much else I can do at this point, right? So, out comes Lucario now, and I'm just kind of thinking like, alright, this thing's pretty scary still, especially since I've lost 2 of my Pokemon. I'm not in the best position, but I do decide that I can bring in my Nidoking here, predicting a Stone Edge, which I get right. Now it comes off in Extreme Speed, which, sorry, and it does a lot of damage to me, but Earth Power just kills it, so I'm like, alright, nice. And after that thing dies, she brings in Roserade, which is her final Pokemon, so I'm like, no way, did I actually win this fight here? You guys know I have Flamethrower on this thing, so I'm just going to click that here and hope for the best. actually do pretty lackluster damage as an extra sensory takes out Nidoking, my starter, which is pretty sad, admittedly, but he did a good job here. And especially knowing that that happened, I can now bring in Crobat, click Wing Attack, and end the fight, winning the Mono Poison type Hardcore Nuzlocke of Pokemon Platinum. So, guys, I hope you all enjoyed this run. This has been the hardest I've ever worked on a video. I keep saying that with these videos, but I've just tried to do better and better with them. This overlay even, which is something I've never really messed with before, and I was pretty happy with the results of it. I think it looks good enough, and I'm hoping to improve on it in the future. This challenge in and of itself was pretty easy for me. I definitely dodged a lot of crystals and got pretty lucky because I kind of rushed through it. And in the future, I'll probably take more time with them just because I know I'm better than this, even though I still did pretty good this run. In fact, I played a ton of Nuzlocke like throughout my time playing Pokemon. I've beaten Clement Emerald, Radical Red, all that stuff, so I'm pretty familiar when it comes to these kind of games. But regardless of that, you know, it's still fun to have some sort of challenge run like this every now and then. And sincerely, I enjoyed it a lot and had a ton of fun with it. So if you enjoyed the video, feel free to drop a like, leave a comment. If you want a sub, I would really appreciate that too. And yeah, I hope all you guys enjoyed. I really do. And goodbye.